But something about this, I'm interested in hearing what Jason has to say about this. It struck me as odd that Facebook mentioned TikTok so much, that they said that CapEx was going to be standard, and there was so much bad news here. It feels to me like they were leaving themselves room to pull levers throughout the rest of the year, that maybe this isn't as bad as they made it sound, because they did this before after Cambridge Analytica saying we're going to spend a whole bunch of money on moderation and technologies that way, and then they were able to sort of ease off at certain points and provide surprises. We'll see.
So, Jason, why don't you react to what John just asked there, and also tell our viewers what to do with the stock if they own it, or what to do about it if they don't own it, and think, well, it's 25% cheaper today than it was yesterday. Maybe now's the time.
Yeah, look, we think, if you haven't sold it, you don't sell now. As far as do you buy it, you might want to wait to see what happens from Amazon tonight, because if Amazon doesn't go well, and it's been very difficult to predict their results, the stock may go lower for no fault of its own, just that the tech tape it gets weaker. One of the things that investors have kind of trained themselves to do through COVID is look at like the 2-year average, right? There's been so much volatility. We're saying let's look back relative to 2019, or look at the growth rate on a 2-year basis. And that has kind of been the anchor for investors. And this quarter on a 2-year basis, the growth did slow. I do think December probably was worse than they expected. And kind of once that happened, I think it almost gave them the cover to what we'll call like do a kitchen sink. I do think there's probably some political motivation behind their comments. The government does basically have the approval right now to kind of go after them. And they were really making the case last night that they are seeing competition from multiple fronts, from Google, from Apple, from TikTok, and that the rules of the rules of the road weren't necessarily fair. Whereas given the Google and Apple relationship, the traffic acquisition cost relationship, the rules that Apple was applying to apps were not the same that they were applying to Safari and browsers, and that was hurting them. So a lot of kind of bad news to unpack, and happy to do so, but it definitely felt like there was maybe political motivation to try to position themselves as they're looked at by the U.S. government.